Welcome to Gadagamix channel. Today we will convert HSP Flying Fish from 4-wheel drive to 2-wheel drive for drift purpose. For this modification we use 3D printed parts. I'll give the file for free, the link is on the video description. The preparation that needs to be done is to cut the chassis 5 to 10 mm. It depends on your need. For me, I cut it 10 mm. It's alright if you don't want to cut the chassis, but you need to lower the maximum steering angle later. First we print lower arm 2 times, as the name implies, you need to print 2 times. There are 2 holes in the front. At the side there are several holes. This is for wheelbase and caster adjustment. We need M3 by 32 mm bolts. You can use longer or shorter bolts depending on how wide the car you want to be. I put the bolt in the second hole from the front. Install it like in the video. Use nut to tighten the bolt. It's better if you use lock nut. Lastly, install the ball end. You can use stock ball end. After that, print lower base. Use 3 mm drill in this part. It's for lower arm shaft. Don't drill it excessively. To attach the lower arm, we need M3 by 45 mm long bolts. But if you don't have it, we can use 2 shorter bolts. Remember, the front is the one with 2 holes. It's for shock stay. In this video, I use 2 M3 bolts, but it will be stronger if we use 1 long bolt. This is the result. It's alright if the movement not too smooth as long as it still can move, because it will be smoother in time. But if it's so hard to move, then you need to file the lower base a little bit. We put 4 M3 nuts on the lower base. We need 4 countersunk M3 by 10 mm. Then we need M3 ring to add suspension travel. Then attach the assembled lower base to the chassis. We print the rod. Then attach it to the chassis using M3 by 10 mm or longer countersunk screw. We print servo horn. We need a round horn like this one. Usually we get this when we buy a servo. Try looking for it. If you don't have one, you can buy the horn only or just buy some maybe MG996R servo since it's cheap. Then we can use the servo horn that comes with it, and you can use the servo if the stock servo fails. We attach the 3D printed servo horn to round horn using M2 screws. I designed it so we can use 4 screws, but it seems using 2 screws is already strong enough. We print upper base. Same as lower base, we enlarge the hole using 3 mm drill bit. Don't drill it excessively. We print servo spacer 2 times. This is to adjust servo height. Depending on the dimensions of your servo, you may need to use 2 spacers, or in contrary, you may not use the spacer at all. After that, we attach the servo to the upper base using M3 by 15 mm bolts. Turn on the system to ensure that the servo is in center position. Make sure the transmitter setting is in neutral position. After that, attach the servo horn. We print upper arm, make it 2. Besides using bolt, you can use M3 spacer like this. Usually it's sold on electronic store or just type M3 spacer. If using bolt, use M3 by 34 mm long bolt. Don't look in this video, I'm just too lazy to re-record it. You can view my final settings at the end of this video. The front has 2 holes. And for final settings, I use the second hole from the front, not the third hole like in this video. After that, we attach the upper arm to the upper base. Same as before, I recommend using 1 M3 by 45 mm bolts. But if you don't have one, you can use 2 M3 bolts like this. Remember, the one with 2 holes is in the front. This is the result. We print shock tower. Then attach the shock tower to the upper base using M3 by 12 mm bolts. We combine upper base with lower base. I use M3 by 15 mm bolts. You can use longer bolts, it is better actually. Drill here at the stock steering hook using 2 mm drill bit. This is for the stock ball end. If you don't want to drill it, you can still use the old hole position, but it will not give you optimal steering angle. Also drill here using 2mm drill bit to attach the M3x20mm bolt that will act as a stopper. This is how the steering hub looks after installing the ball end and stopper. We print ball end left and ball end right. Then we connect it with the default ball end. You can use adjustable bolt like this, or you can use adjustable bolt from stock steering link. If you don't have adjustable bolts, just cut it from M3 bolt like this. The result is like this. I don't use the stock ball end just because this one is easier to disassemble. Of course, you can still use the stock ball end if you want it. Install the ball end on the servo horn first. I put it on the outermost hole. You can try different positions later. One hole difference can make a lot of difference on steering. Install the left and right part. Finally, we install the left and right ball end cups. The front part is finished, we can test it. Now onto the back. We print motor mount. To install, just bolt it to the chassis. But if you use plastic chassis, you must flatten the center first. For the motor mount, I deliberately designed the motor position slightly to the right, not in center position, to reduce the torque twist from motor rotation. I use 17T gear. Of course, you can use standard pinion gear. And it is recommended that you use rings for the bolt for better grip. You can use many pinion and spur gear variations because I designed the bracket hole pretty long. I lock the differential gear. You don't need to glue it, just open the diff, then insert some soft clothes so the diff gear cannot rotate. There is optional battery holder files. It's optional, you don't have to print it. The design is not perfect actually, and it only supports short pack battery. If you use other size battery, you cannot use this file and it cannot be used on plastic chassis. In this aluminum chassis, I use double-sided tape to attach it. There is also optional body post file. It's not perfect either and it's not that strong. If you already have body post, then don't need to print this part. I use this 15 years old Skyline R34 calsonic body. I was using it harshly 15 or 16 years ago, so the body cracked here and there, and now I regret it because this body looks so good on this flying fish. I forgot to mention, to drift on two-wheel drive, we need to use gyro. The one that I recommend is from RB brand. It is usually used on WPL D12. The price is around $10 US. This gyro is cheap and performs very well for its price, but if money is not the issue, then I recommend the Yokomo V4 gyro. And here is the end result. Overall, I'm quite satisfied. Is it worth to convert flying fish to two-wheel drive for drifting? At first, I was skeptical, but it turned out that this car can drift pretty good. The driving experience is different from Sakura D5, for example. For Sakura D5, when it starts to drift, it feels that it won't stop to drift. The momentum is bigger. It's normal because the Sakura D5 use rear and sideways motor mount. While flying fish, because the motor position is on the middle, it feels more agile to change direction. So it is more suitable for narrow spaces. When I record this video, I have a problem with my transmitter. The steering is heavy, I guess because I tightened the steering wheel too much. And also I still haven't found the perfect gyro setting for this car. The result is I still cannot get cool drift shot. Maybe I'll make another video later specifically for drift test of flying fish rear-wheel drive conversion. But overall, I'm happy with the result and I can return it to 4-wheel drive again anytime I want. So it is better to buy HSP Flying Fish or Sakura D5. For professional drifting, I still recommend Sakura D5. Or you can get Yokomo YD2 or MST if you have the funds. However, if this is your only RC car and you have a plan to play it on road or off-road, then I recommend to buy Flying Fish, since it's more durable for basing and the spare part is easier to get and also slightly cheaper than Sakura D5. I hope this video can be useful for someone and thanks for visiting Gadogamix channel.